Zach McCrary here, one half of the podcast known as Two Fat Dudes, talking all news nerdy. Of course, that is TOOFATDUDEZ, here with the Vidjam boys once again, this time for their special event. So I'm here with Mr. Dan Brinkert. Dan, what do we got going on here tonight?
Well, what we got going on here tonight is a screening event for the 48-hour film festival challenge that went on last weekend. Right now we've got 16 different films going head-to-head against one another to see who created the best work within 48 hours.
Very cool, very cool. And each time there's a different theme, right?
Of course.
What's the theme for this one?
The theme for this year is transformation.
Oh, all right. Very cool. As we go along, I'll be talking to everybody that came here tonight, talking to the filmmakers. It's going to be fun.
Stay tuned.
All right, I'm here with the folks from Sunday's Best, and I have to say, before I even go any further, I got to view it last night, and I thought to myself at the end, like, I would watch a full feature-length film about this. Like, I was like, I am intrigued. I want to watch a full-length film about this. Really enjoyed it. So, where were you guys going? Like, how did you come up with the idea for this?
Well, we're a variety show and kind of a collective of all different artists. So we did the festival last year. We wanted to do it again this year. And the main crew that was sort of behind the project, obviously we couldn't decide what we were going to do beforehand, but we knew that we wanted to focus on some really strong female characters with some very heavy-handed political undertones, if you can even...
No!
So yeah, we just knew that we wanted to focus on female characters. We talked about like making them unionized, but then it kind of went haywire from there, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And we are planning on doing a director's cut, although obviously since we shot everything in one day, we don't have enough for a feature. But there's definitely some other tasty tidbits and more extended cuts of the really juicy material that we'd like everyone to be able to see.
Very cool. So, you went with the general idea. How long did it take to put all those scenes together? Because you guys had a lot of different takes and a lot of different scenes.
Yeah, we pretty much spent the entirety of Sunday editing. Our director and editor, Zach Moser, kind of took the script that we wrote and just had to bang it out. But it did take most of the day because we really had to pick and choose what we got to show people. And there was a lot that we were excited about.
Very cool. What was it like being part of this on the acting side for everybody here? How about Jack Knife?
It's amazing, really. It's fun to be completely foolish and make a fool of yourself while still looking like a rock star. So it was fun. I had a great time.
Very cool. So you've done this before. You guys, you really enjoy doing this stuff. Are you going to be continuing doing stuff with Vidjam in the future, do you think?
Absolutely. This is what I want to do with my life, but since I can't afford to do that, this is just as much as I can possibly do, and we'll do it with Vidjam.
Very cool. Well, we look forward to seeing more of you guys in the future, and you were amazing.
Oh, thank you, little old me.
Yeah,
You all were fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, all I know going into the writing process, because these guys are sort of the core writing crew as well. I kind of just said that we definitely wanted to show things on film that we hadn't seen before, that maybe people wouldn't want to see. And these three ladies really took that and just went crazy with it. They were willing to do absolutely everything, and I'm so thankful.
One thing, all of those stunts are real.
Yes.
Everything you saw in the film actually happened.
No stuntmen? Like you did all your own stunts?
No.
That is legit. That is pretty badass. Thanks for stepping up here.
Yeah,
Thank you. I am here with Jakad, Lily, and Olana. They are the makers of the film The Kochi, a very fun short film about a bird looking for friends. How did you guys come up with this idea? Who wants to?
Actually, Lily came up with the idea. Came up with the idea.
Yeah? How'd you come up with it, Lily?
Within 5 minutes of when I knew the transformation, I was just like, it should be a bird. And it should be really ugly. And then it just kind of transformed from that.
It's very cool. How did you guys come up with some of your visual effects with the bird being born and stuff like that? What'd you go with?
With me being a narrator and saying how we're going to witness the birth and how it starts to come out of the egg and stuff like that, which was really cool. Real cool.
Yeah. What did you guys use for the birth, the egg?
It was, so we went to the Harrisburg Free Store, which my mom's owned, and we just found this like bouncy ball, and I spray painted it white, and then we just cut it.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, it's fun. You get to be kind of crafty when you're doing short films, like on a low budget. That's really cool. I know you guys are too young to be able to see this genre, but the actual birthing sequence with it was very like, it's a style called body horror. When you're adults, you can watch body horror, but it was really cool, and I thought that was a very great scene. How long did it take you guys to film this entire thing?
6 actually to get the shot of the building being destroyed. So from that, it was probably like a day's worth of shooting, and then editing was the next day. So yeah.
I got up like 11 because my mom was like, "Oh, Summer gave you a text message saying come help with the movie." So I pretty much got outside and did the narrating act, which was really fun doing narrating, like throwing myself out of the seat, acting very surprised with the bird coming out. Like it was really cool.
Are you guys? This was your first time doing Vidjam?
Well, it was my second time.
Oh, so you're second. You're first.
This is my first time.
You're first. Do you guys think you're gonna do it the next time they do it around? Do you have a good time?
Lily asked me how to do it.
If she asks, wink. Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks a lot for coming up, guys. I'm here with Tyler from the fundamental part. This is his first time directing, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
How was your first experience as a director?
It was a pretty positive one. I definitely learned a lot about how to tell a story in a certain amount of time, and both the technical and to be able to direct the actors. So I feel like I learned a lot.
Fantastic. Was the whole idea of this, was it your brainchild, or did it come in as a collective?
I kind of created the seed of the idea, and I was fleshing it out, and then later Friday night I met with the actors, and they're all improvisers that I know from the Harrisburg Improv Theater, and so we kind of worked out some of the details and talked about their characters, and so in that way it was a group effort. Yeah.
We talked to one of the girls before. She said that she was one of the first to leave that night, and she left at like 2 a.m. So you guys were up a long time really putting this together.
Yeah, we definitely used our shooting day on Saturday pretty well, and I was really impressed that we got all our shooting done in the one day, and I was like, we have plenty of time to edit on Sunday, and it turned out, editing is easier said than done sometimes. It was quite a process, and I definitely want to put out a director's cut, try to play with some of the pacing a little bit and make a little bit of version of it at some point. Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. And I thought it was a really cool premise. How was it bringing all those people together so quickly? Did you already have a cast in mind?
I had spoken to John and Melissa, and then we picked up Christine, who's the woman who appears in the last shot, and so I kind of had an idea going into it, and I ended up kind of scrapping it and reworking it based on who I was working with, and I thought what the theme was kind of helped reshape what we were going to do. So,
absolutely, well done, sir. And do you think you're going to be doing more Vidjam in the future?
Absolutely. This is my second year participating on a team, and it's definitely always a positive experience. I love doing it, so I'm excited to do it next time.
I'm here with Nate Smith, the director of the film Couple Swap. Nate, did you come up with the premise for this, or was it a collaboration of everyone?
Can I start this interview off by popping this delicious beer? 0 Day Brewery.
It is delicious.
I'm going to find out.
All right, what are we feeling right now? What's on your tongue?
Well, it's a Goza. It's a sour. And I wouldn't know, but it said it had salt added. So it's an interesting mix. It's great.
It's great. I'm glad. Their beer is really good. So, Couple Swap. Who came at you with the premise? Did you just throw it out there right from the get-go?
I sat down with my 2 stars, glamorous stars, Charles and Shanna.
They were fantastic.
Thank you. And we just sat down, and I had a busy weekend, and we knew we didn't have a lot of time. So we got together around 10 p.m. Friday and just started kind of turning ideas over, and then one idea turned into another, and then another, and then another. So that's where we ended up. We came up with the idea that we wanted a couple to play both the couple, and we thought that was really great, so we kind of just moved it on with there. And then we were like, well, I guess we have to have a sex scene. And so that happened, and that was a lot of fun to shoot.
Yeah, I was surprised. I'm like, oh, they're going for it.
I hope we don't have any. I hope we're the only sex scenes in all of the videos. That'd be cool. I don't think there were any last year, so I'm very excited about some sex scenes, bringing it to Vidjam.
Bring a little bit of heat to Vidjam. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the scenes where you actually kind of have the couples, even though they're the same people, in the same room kind of things, what kind of stuff did you use to do that?
Well, you'll notice that everything is very close up. All the shots are pretty tight, and so that's a disadvantage. I like, it makes it feel claustrophobic maybe a little bit, but that's how we had to shoot it. We had to shoot it tight. And then we do one little trick, putting them in the same room, in the same shot. We leave the camera still, and then we shoot both scenes, and then you cut it in half, and it doesn't look very good, but hey.
I disagree. I thought it looked pretty good.
Look closer when we're playing it on the screen, and you'll be able to tell what I did. Yeah.
All right, great. Well, thank you, Nate.
Thank you.
I am here with the folks from Unhinged, who it's easy to say were the big winners of the night. Congratulations. We got 3. We got audience choice. We got judges choice, and we've got best directing. Congratulations. This is our director. Congratulations. How's it feel?
Good. And also, what?
How did you guys come up with the idea for this? I mean, it was very Alice in Wonderland, like it was, yeah, and I really dug that. Yeah, very Alice in Wonderland. How'd you guys come up with it?
We basically just sat around in my living room and bounced ideas off of each other until we figured it out. But it took, I don't know, we came up with, it kind of morphed, it transformed, if you will, into the idea that it came, like over maybe 2 or 3 hours, so.
Even on like our shooting day on Saturday during production, I feel like our story evolved all throughout the day. We'd get to a location, be like, what's going to work, what's not going to work, what can we change to still make it fit and be cohesive, and yeah.
So you guys, and that probably really helped the film that you were so able to just compromise and go with what was available and go with what you could do. The film takes a lot of different turns because there's some humor to it, and there's a lot of serious tones as well. Was that on purpose, or was that something that just kind of happened that it wound up becoming so multifaceted?
So last year, Sam and I did a film together, actually, with most of these people. But we talked about things that we wanted to do as a team and what we all wanted to get out of the experience. And that was some of the things we wanted to cut back on dialogue, less action, make it more about like a facial journey and have some kind of emotional, something impactful. And we wanted to kind of address some like social issues in some way that would make the audience think differently, or just kind of think about what's going on in the world in some form, rather than just making a horror movie for fun. Yeah, so we're just talking about it and talking about the challenges from about last year and like how we could improve and to make it better.
And overall, do you guys feel like you did show a lot of improvement? Like, are you satisfied? Yeah? Awesome. Hey, you guys did a great job. Really enjoyed the movie. I will have a beer. Thank you very much. And congratulations. I hope to see you guys at the next Vidjam and continuing. I'm here with the folks from Mad River. First, let me tell you that I got to see the film last night to prepare for today. Really enjoyed the premise. I thought it was very unique, and it was one of those situations where you're watching, you're like, I don't know where this is going. Like what's going on exactly? But it was a lot of fun. So, what was the process like of doing this film?
I had a really good time. It was the first time that I'd done a Vidjam, so I relied a lot on Hal Kramer to guide me along the way. But we split it up into 3 different components, actually 4 if you count the idea generating the night before. We did actually the end of the video first, and then the voiceovers, and the final piece that we filmed was the actual film of this scene that you were watching last night.
The big scene.
Yeah, the big scene. So it was 3 different pieces at 3 different times during just one day.
How was the creative process? How did you guys come up with this whole story? Was it a group effort, or was it Hal? Did Hal come up with it?
I think Hal and then Hamza talked about it a lot, and then
I got the script the day of, about 5 hours beforehand, and they had already shot the last scene, and Hal had sent it to me to watch, and out of context, I really wasn't sure where it was going, and then I got the script afterwards, and then we shot that scene late at night down by the river, and then seeing it all pieced together was awesome, because I think even filming, we really also were kind of like, we're not exactly sure where this is going to pan out, but it was a lot of fun in the creative process for it, but it was, it just kind of came together in a short amount of time.
It was a great play on the ridiculous. So what was it like being dead during the entire time?
It's not easy to be dead. Yeah, it's not easy. It was hard work.
It's hard work. Was the ground cold?
The ground was cold and hard. Yes.
Great. So you said this was your first experience. Was it also your first experiences?
Yeah.
You guys had a lot of fun?
Oh yeah, it was great.
Do you think you're going to do another Vidjam down the road?
I hope so.
Yeah, I would love
I'd say
to.
so.
Yeah, I'm excited to see tonight and all the other films too, because I think from what I've heard, this is one of the best Vidjams that we can expect to see. So I'm really excited to see all the other films tonight also. Thanks.
I would agree with that. And your film was a lot of fun. Thanks for being part of it.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, I'm here with Jake and Tyler from Tree Star. They did the film Learn the Room. You guys actually improvised a lot of the dialogue for this, right?
Yeah, 100% of it.
Yeah. So how much of it did you go in with ahead of time? Did you go in with a basic premise and then work from there?
No, just sort of the setting is all that I knew going into it. We actually had the suggestion was in my pocket on a piece of paper, and we sort of wove it into the storyline, so we didn't even know the suggestion until we were about a minute into the film.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. Do you guys do a lot of other improv stuff, or was that just a first time giving it a shot?
Yes, I own the Harrisburg Improv Theater, and the Vidjam weekend hit the end of a 2-week-long tour I was doing with my duo show Misconnections, where we do improv inspired by real-life Craigslist misconnection ads. So Tyler was along to chronicle the tour and hang out and have a good time. And we decided, since it lined up perfectly with the weekend, we should make a Vidjam. So the other guy who had accident is the other guy, part of the duo. His name's Paul. He and I started the hit together and do that show. And Tyler filmed, directed it, edited it, and all that. Yeah.
Were you were you the guy behind like the setting, like the under the bed, like that kind of thing?
Well, we decided that was gonna. That's the only thing that I said that we should do is make sure that he goes under the bed as well with Paul, and that I wrote down the word so that they could read that halfway through and know what their direction was going to be. But other than that, the only thing we had planned was just kind of the camera movement.
What about the Roomba? Was that randomly there?
It was in the room, and Paul decided that he was like, I'm going to turn this on. So we came up to the room, and the Roomba was on. So
it's a nice little touch. I liked it. All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here with Kyla Somerville. She did the short film Woods. And Kyla, how did you come up with this idea of kind of magical realism with the kind of magical owl and the bear? What were you going for here? Like, where did you come up with this?
Well, I was really inspired by the puppets themselves. I love making animal puppets and the movements that they make. And so since I did it by myself, I figured I'd make a whole bunch of puppets and art pieces to kind of substitute actors and things like that.
It was cool. Yeah, I liked it. It was very much kind of a moving comic book in a lot of ways, which I dug. How long did it take you to put all that stuff together?
It took 24 out of the 48 hours just to cut out everything.
Wow. So you really had to haul it once you actually started filming.
Yeah, definitely.
How long did the filming of it take then?
Actually, this was my first time with a camera. I found a Kodak Easy Share for $10 at a yard sale the week before. And I had never used a camera. I'd never used the audio software. So it took me maybe 12 hours just to film and learn how to use it, and 12 hours to put it all together.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It turned out really well. So let me ask you, this is your first time doing a film with the Vidjam guys, right?
Yes, ever.
First film ever. Was it a positive experience?
I think filmmaking in general is a positive experience, but for the first time making a film ever, I definitely wouldn't recommend it.
Do you think you'll ever do it again with them?
Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you very much. All right, I'm here with the gents with the animated feature Reborn. Fellas, you want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Nicholas Nguyen.
It's Nawi Muhammad.
All right, fellas, that was a really well done piece. I really enjoyed it. I liked the use of the woman's like inner beast coming out to deal with the coping mechanism essentially. How did you guys come up with that?
Well, a writer had a lot to do with it. Writer's over there. She was she kind of liked to take it in that direction. We supported her in coming up with the metaphor, but overall, like we had a large team of people who could help us with the whole writing.
Awesome. So which part did each of you take in the process of this film?
I animated the woman and the wolf character.
And I animated the man.
Okay. So you had a team of, like, essentially a duo of animators. Is that what made it go so quickly and be able to do it in a 48-hour period?
Yes. We were very strained on time, though.
So what kind of stuff did you guys use to do the animation?
We used a program called TV Paint.
And we animated on a Surface Pro.
Cool. Draw, Phil, draw. Did you? Who's Draw, Phil, draw?
He was our background artist. Philip Kiefer. He did a lot of our backgrounds, but he worked from home. So.
Okay. Cool. Well, guys, I thought it was a really cool little feature. Is this your first time doing a Vidjam?
Yes, this is the first time.
Yeah. Do you guys think you'll do it again?
Yes, hopefully.
Awesome. Well, hope to see you soon. Melissa, one of the stars of the fundamental part. Melissa, when this movie came about, were you part of the creative angle, or were you strictly on as an actress?
I did take part in the creative planning. We all went to the diner, and we were there. I left actually earliest at like 2 in the morning.
Oh, that was the earliest at 2 in the morning. Wow. So how did this idea come about? Like, what was the thought process when you guys were laying it down?
Well, since the word was transformation, Tyler, our director, wanted to go extremely literal with it. And so he had an idea. I don't want to spoil anything, but he laid out his basic concept, and then we just had little ideas that put into place with it, like who could most effectively do which part for the most impact.
Okay, cool. How did it feel getting out there and actually playing the role that you did? Spoiler free, of course.
It was fun, but it was also kind of stressful because of the limited time, and also it's a very emotional film. I would say I think that doesn't spoil anything, but it was emotional.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So as far as doing Vidjam, is this your first Vidjam?
This is actually my third.
Oh, this is your third. Wow. Okay, so you're a veteran.
I've won something every year.
Nice.
Well, my team, not me, but
you take all the credit. It's fine. They're not here right now. It's just you and me. All right. So, are you gonna continue to do this? Like, is it usually a pretty positive experience for you?
Yeah, I love doing it. I want to keep doing it.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you. All right, here with Doug McGarvey, who's part of the IAF crew and did the film Sour Pickles. He is also probably the saddest clown I have ever seen.
Yep. I mean, probably saddest person, but I was wearing clown makeup in the film.
You were. So the actual filming of the movie, how long did it take you guys to put together all that footage?
Like Saturday, it took us 8 hours of filming about? I'm looking off camera at Dan. And then Sunday we did a couple hours to pick up extra stuff.
Did you come up with the idea with these guys, or did they come? Did Dan and Sam come to you with it?
Nope, they had it. I would say fully formed, but it wasn't fully formed until editing was done. So, but yeah, I didn't really have that much creative input. They were just like, "Hey, we need an actor," and I was like, "I got nothing to do this weekend."
You were a perfect choice for that part, I have to say. So when they asked you to play that role, what was your inspiration for pickles?
I would say it was probably it was like half Zippy the Pinhead and half Pennywise the Clown.
Half Pennywise. I like it. You did a bang up job. Really enjoyed it. Thanks for coming on here with us.